Yo, what up family? Miten menee perheeni? I hope you're doing great. Toivottavasti teillä kaikilla menee loistavasti. Bro, looks like we got to learn some Finnish in this country. Well, I just made this video for the sake of clarity to provide more clear information concerning the new conditions on the permanent residence permit here in Finland. If you remember, a few days ago I released a video where I was discussing the new proposal that has been made by the government to the parliament that they needed some additional conditions when applying for a permanent resident permit, which will be in effect from January next year if approved by the parliament. So there has been some questions from some people, particularly the international students and graduates who are still living in Finland. Yes, they wanted more clarification on conditions. How does it affect more, especially the international students or the graduates? So this is what you need to know. So how is it now before the new conditions have taken place? So at the moment, for you to apply for your permanent resident permit, you need to have stayed in Finland for a period of 4 years with an A continuous resident permit. And this an A continuous resident permit is not the same as an A permit for student. Yes, that resident permit for students has its own criteria and it does not satisfy or it does not count in these 4 years that are needed for you to apply for a permanent resident permit. So that number one thing you need to understand. Number two thing is that despite the time, these 4 years that you need to have stayed in Finland with an A continuous resident permit, you also need to have a job with a minimum pay that is required by the immigration office. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so when you're applying for your permanent resident permit, first of all, you have to satisfy this 4 years period, but also you have to present any form of document that shows that you have been working and you have been paid this much. If you don't satisfy that condition, maybe you will be granted maybe another 1 year to make sure that you put your things in order. You get a job, you get a good salary, and then you present your pay slips to the immigration office. And normally they would demand, I think, from 3 months to 6 months pay slips in order for them to feel satisfied that you can be granted a permanent resident permit. So that is how it has been now before the new conditions have taken place. So what about the new conditions now? So there is another article which has been written in the website of the government. All right, and this website that I'm using now is the website from the Ministry of Interior here in Finland. So it's very much detailed. They have put clear the conditions that they will be imposing from next year if approved by the parliament. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but I will provide the link to this article in the accompanying text. Unfortunately, for those people in TikTok, you can only follow the website as I provide here. Yes, but apart from that, be sure to go to my YouTube channel. You can search on YouTube my name, Ezekiel Kuhoga. You will find the same video, but on the description area, you should find the link where you can click and it will take you directly to the website if you cannot find the website on your own. So let's go straight. I think there are about 3 categories of information that you need to understand. Category number 1 is about the general information, which says that the continuous period of residence required for a permanent residence permit would be extended from 4 years to 6 years. That is number 1. Number 2, when an applicant has resided in Finland for 6 years as a rule, they could be granted a permanent resident permit on the condition that their proficiency in either Finnish or Swedish is satisfactory and they have 2 years of work experience in Finland. Now, there are some other people who have been asking, so what is this satisfactory? It is not very clear. Is it A1, A2, is it B1, B2? I will make another video to clarify on that as well. So please after you have finished watching this video, make sure that you browse my page here on TikTok in order to find another video where I have clarified on the language. So that was category number 1, just an extension from 4 years to 6 years. And it has been said that in these 6 years, if you have stayed in Finland for 6 years, to get a permanent resident permit, you're gonna have to prove that you have the satisfactory level of Finnish language plus 2 years of work experience in Finland. Category number 1. Category number 2 of information that you need to understand. Obtaining a permanent resident permit based on 4-year period of residence would still be possible. So in some cases, you could still get your permanent resident permit here in Finland after 4 years. But what should you take into account? It continues, says, however, the applicant would have to meet one of the following additional requirements. Only one of the following additional requirements. Number 1, a minimum annual income of 40,000 euros. Number 2, a master's degree or a postgraduate degree recognized in Finland and 2 years of work experience in Finland. Number 3, high proficiency in Finnish or Swedish and 3 years of work experience in Finland. So these are additional conditions, and you just need one of them to apply for your resident permit after 4 years. I will read again these conditions. Number 1, you need to have a minimum annual income of 40,000 euros. Number 2, not all of them together, either one of them. Number 2, a master's degree or a postgraduate degree recognized in Finland and 2 years of work experience in Finland. Number 3, high proficiency in Finnish or Swedish and 3 years of work experience in Finland. So high proficiency, what do they mean? Watch out for the other video. And category number 3, actually before I go to category number 3, in the same category number 2, for you to get your permanent resident permit in 4 years, you also need this information. If the applicant meets the work experience requirement, it would also be required that they have only used unemployment security or social assistance for a maximum of 3 months. 3 months. This is the condition for you to get your resident permit, permanent resident permit, after 4 years. Otherwise, it's gonna be 6. Category number 3, category of information number 3 that you need to understand. Applicants who have completed a master's degree, a postgraduate degree, or a university bachelor's degree in Finland could obtain a permanent resident permit without having to meet the required period of residence in terms of years. So if you have completed your high education, master's degree, postgraduate degree, or university bachelor's degree in Finland, the regulation in terms of time will not apply to you. Let me continue. In such a case, a certain standard of proficiency in Finnish or Swedish would also be required. Now, as an alternative, you're going to have to prove your proficiency either in Finnish or Swedish. Let me continue. In addition, they would be required to meet the general conditions for issuing a resident permit in the same way as in other situations where a permanent residence permit is issued. These general conditions include valid passport and sufficient financial resources, as well as the fact that they do not pose a danger to the public order or security. So I really believe that this video provides more clarity on the conditions, the new conditions that will apply when applying for a permanent resident permit in Finland from January next year, if the parliament approves this proposal that have been submitted by the government from January this year. So watch out for the other video where I clarify about the language levels required.